blood of the slain will never be in vain.
Never.
No. We don't want to see no more people dying. Zion Yahweh. Whoa. Zion Yahweh. Whoa. Zion Yahweh. Whoa. Zion Yahweh. Yo, listen, man. My name is Ja, beloved. You can call me Quincy back when the occasion calls for it. You are watching iCulture TV. Keep it locked. iCulture TV. Africa from an African perspective. Radio culture. Yes, indeed. Good afternoon from my side of the world. I don't know what time it is where you are, whatever time it is, plug it in. This is Radio Culture, iCulture TV. We're airborne right now, and you are welcome to the FyahSide Reasoning Sessions. This is as much as I'm going to do as a host. From this point on, I have my brethren, 7 FyahSide, and he's going to take over. 7 FyahSide. Nana.
Oh, honey.
What you saying?
I'm Dom, Charlie. Good to be here, man.
Nice.
Looking forward to the reasonings, my brother.
As always.
Yes. If we jump in?
Straight away.
Yes. So I don't know where to start, but recently you sent me something by Ohima Sophia Ekufu.
Yes.
Where they say something nice about the minds, right? Where they say something about we don't even know enough about some of these, minerals where we talk about, right? Like there's things about gold where maybe we don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the way she was talking about possibilities, right? But then I want to hear you out. I want to hear what you think about the things she said.
Yes.
Yes, because she was pushing the thing in the same direction maybe like some of us never think of, Yeah, so please go ahead, share something with us on that one.
Nice. Yes, I give thanks, Simon. So first of all, I want to start by telling a little experience that I had back in Australia when I was there as a student, studying and hustling to pay my fees. So I had this brethren who I used to labor with, right? He used to do floors. And occasionally when he got a big contract, he would call me to go labor with him so I can make some good money. It was really good money, save towards paying my fees and all that. And one day we had this contract in an office. It was a mining office, right? Mining company's office. So we went there, started tearing out the carpet, laying out the new ones, all that. And then out of curiosity, I was just like looking at the stuff on the wall and stuff like that. And then I saw a map of a certain portion of Ghana, right? Now, that didn't look like a map that most of us would be familiar with. Okay. These were old maps detailing minerals available in Ghana, in some villages that we may not even know about. And these are some huge multinational companies in Australia with those maps. So your farm day, Shenampole. But as you did there, they weed your cocoa. Somebody did there, they plant, say they come. If I can't mine the gold way there and there, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It comes from a very far distance. We shouldn't even think about this thing as piecemeal. You have to think about it holistically.
Seriously.
No.
When Australia said they think of them say they get gold, right?
Basically, I'm sure that's what they're thinking.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's put that on the back burner and go to Madame Sophia Kufu.
Mm-hmm.
Saying some very profound things.
Serious.
That you don't normally find our politicians saying. And I'm particularly excited because it's coming from a woman.
Thank you.
Now, what is she saying? again, as we go into what she's saying, let's also look at some of let's get some things straight first before we even go there. Personally, I don't know even if I support mining like that, to be honest with you.
Charlie, go there. Yeah, Charlie, elaborate on what you mean by that. Because sometimes we just take it for granted and say, oh, Ghana, gold. So let's just go ahead and
Gold
do
Coast,
it.
and then we gold and all that. Honestly, I don't see it. I don't see why. If there's a way to get the gold without devastating the earth like that, then maybe you can get me to sign on. You know, I'm sure back then when we're talking about Mansa Musa and all these other kings, the richest king, the richest monarch that ever lived, traveled from Africa to, travel from Mali to Egypt and all of that with gold and all of that. I don't think they were talking at that time. No, they had to degrade the earth like that to get gold.
I doubt it. I don't think they did that at all.
So if you're taking me there, then I'm with you. Otherwise, I have huge reservations about mining in the first place, generally.
Yeah, but that has to be talked about, because some of us think, say, because of economic conditions, we be able to my money is scarce. Yes, right?
Hey,
all your buyers, okay.
Like I'm saying, and you're just mining input. Me personally, when I see a tree being felled to build a house, my only consolation is that people have a roof over their head. Other than that, no. I don't support when you have to degrade the land. And by degrade, no, in this case, it's not degrading like when we are building a house per se, right? But then all I'm saying is
okay, with you, okay,
yeah. If we're going to degrade the earth like that, and then let's look at it also like this. Ghana, as an example, the way I see a degraded earth, no, do we even have anything to show for it? Nothing. Other places we can say, this is why we have to sacrifice this. Why are we sacrificing lives? Every now and then, but it's a cave. People, I didn't cave in. People die in the pits, right? There are people doing galamsey, going to all kinds. They poison the water bodies. People are getting all kinds of messed up. You're kind of saying diseases and so on as a result. And all. What do we have to show for it? Not a damn thing. Nothing. We have a situation where people are coming from outside of Ghana, sitting with our people and say, you don't have the capacity to mine your own gold. That is the most stupidest thing I ever heard about. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard about. That I can borrow money to go make roads. I can borrow money to go build schools. I can borrow money for politicians to embezzle. But I cannot borrow money to buy equipment to mine my own gold. Now, equipment they saying kwa. It's saying kwa. It's saying kwa say company ebetimiato. That country ain't minto. It's the stupidest thing ever, Rasta. But somehow we have signed on to this bullshit, and we are here, generation after generation, year after year, lining up with this nonsense so that Ghana gets next to nothing from all the degradation that goes on for the mining to happen. It's just ridiculous.
Is it a conversation being had? It's music, Galamsey at the end of the issue. It became a very serious topic at one point. But is there a sustained conversation?
No, sadly. Sadly, because everybody's focused on Galamsey, which is a very bad issue as well. But let's put Galamsey on the side for a little bit. Let's talk about the regular mining now, Kosono. What is Ghana getting out of that?
Charlie, what you're doing is crucial. I don't want to make you hold back, make you take it, and also because these are fundamental questions we will ask, right? But sometimes we go there now, we leave them alone, and say, "Oh yeah, Ghana and gold," right?
Ghana, how many Ghanaians can tell real gold? Let's ask ourselves. Just like chocolate now, you do cocoa, and cocoa na your wealth, no. Cocoa and your wealth. Cocoa. Adia kumakate. It's me wiping it out in the what would that mean? What are we doing to ourselves? Cocoa na your wealth. Let's be that as it may, right? How many Ghanaians eat chocolate? Drink hot chocolate? Eat any type of cocoa product? How many? Let's face it. So basically, we've agreed that we are some type of economy that will grow cocoa
for other people.
Economies, you can't say dessert. That's only the dessert too. But no, ye mainstay. Meanwhile, the gold, no crown, you find the gold, no cry, bibia, and yes, and okay. But what value are we putting on the gold? I had an interview with a former lands minister, Inu Safuseni. I asked him, why is it that in South Africa, under the same company, Anglo Gold Ashanti, the average pay of the worker in South Africa is about $2,000 a month. The average salary of the Ghanaian worker, same company, Anglo Gold Ashanti, mind you, it's Anglo Gold Ashanti. Ashanti Obuasi. But the miner in Obuasi, they pay per month. They struggle to make $200 a month. Why is that?
What did he say? You asked him, what did he say?
He said, well, I asked him that and also connected it with, I showed him some images. I hope I can find that image to show you. I think it's in the system. I'll show you real quick. Because I was asking him, why does Johannesburg look like that? And why does Obuasi look like that? Right? Here it is. We see this, right? To the left, we have Johannesburg. To the right, we have Obuasi. Okay? Now, if you go into Johannesburg, they have all the amenities that they need. Well, he has a certain way, and let's examine that. Or say, the white people built Johannesburg to suit them. And there's a certain truth in that, right? Because unlike Obuasi, they didn't really have the option for that long-term stay that they had, So from when the mine started and they started developing stuff for themselves, they built the rail to go to Obuasi, they built a cloud house for themselves, they did a couple of things, Not too long after that, the liberation struggle kicked in and Ghana liberated itself. So they didn't really build Obuasi the way they wanted to live in. In Johannesburg, however, they built it the way they want so that they can live there. So that's a valid argument. Yes, they did that. But beyond that, I was still so aloof. Let me just use aloof to cover a whole range of other synonyms I would like to use. Adjectives is the word I actually mean. But what I mean though is this. I didn't think that it's okay to accept $200 as salary and risk our lives like that. And then as the government, we watch all these companies year in, year out, take the money out of Ghana. So basically, they can go to some company that makes the machines and say, hey, listen, I have a gold contract in Ghana. I have a 10-year gold contract of 50 acres. I need equipment to go do it. You give me the equipment, I'll pay you in installments. They can do that. So why can't Ghana go to that same place where they make those machines and tell the people, say, hey, listen, we have the gold. Nobody say I have contract. I have the gold. So give me the equipment. Let me go use it. And then I'll pay you in installments, even if I have to do that. Why do we sign on to such stupid contracts? Why? I don't get it. Meanwhile, once upon a time, not too long ago, in a place called Tanzania, there lived this man called Magufuli. Magufuli came and took the contract and said, Sade we until we are going to renegotiate the contracts. Now, we're not only going to renegotiate the contracts, we are also going to put a clause on it, say, you cannot litigate anything in this contract outside of Tanzania. That's how we're going to reset the thing. And he
that'd be sovereignty move right there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He tore up, you can't say no, the old contract, tore it up and told them, said, yeah, this is a new era. Now we're going to work with this system where basically, what we are doing is if you were a mining company that was paying 10%, now you're going to pay 20%. Besides that, that's royalty. Besides that, every mining company, the state must have a share in it. How cool is that, Rasta?
Culture.
What is it?
Or prioritize it.
Prioritize the people.
And you know what? They would not lose. They'll say, yeah, never. But we're not making those demands, right?
Because even with the 20%, they're still making a lot of money.
Thank you. T20 no cry, you move it to Makasi, it's up.
It's like kakra, walk short run, Abi.
Crawl before you walk in there,
no, but it's walk short run. You're not walking forever.
Well,
Mister, if there's no strength in your legs to walk and you want to run, that's disaster.
I understand, but you know that we heard this talk like what 50 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
See, you're taking a step by step, sometimes they can keep us walking, crawling. So you're not yet there. You're not yet there.
Keep walking.
Yes. So we need things to let us know that I'll walk a kakra. And if you
ask me, we have it all. Because once upon a time, we had the freedom fighters are now they couldn't even step out in public.
Mm.
They had to hide and be in guerrilla mode and all that, to the point where now we can have a president in place who says, you know what, screw you, take your things and leave if you want. And you know that the thing behind that move, they say, I see it differently. I think he's taunting the people to leave. What would I mean? It's like because a walk short run. If you know what you are doing. If you know what you are doing.
Can you link this to the Sahel thing, if you don't mind?
I can.
Yeah, because I see you're going there. Yeah.
I can completely.
Yes.
Because if you watch what's going on in the Sahel, or seaport, for instance, they don't have a seaport. So they are working slowly. They're involving Togo. Who has a seaport? Very vibrant seaport for that matter. They don't just wake up and do. I can forward Kasabi. I'm going to say, Ufi prekope pulse mojaba or something to that effect. Again, to be honest with you, I don't agree with all their bet. To be honest with you, some of their bet, but yeah, it doesn't really add up for me. But all the same, this is one of them that I think I can associate with. I think in everything, you need strategy. You need timing. I think it's vital in everything you do. You need strategy, you need timing. Sun Tzu, Chinese philosopher, wrote a book called The Art of War. He says, when you are fighting an opponent with a big army, let them think you have a small. Let me put it properly. I say, when you have a big army, let your opponent think you have a small army. And when you have a small army, let your opponent think you have a big army. Because when you have a big army and you make your opponent think you have a small army, they'll become complacent. And then you can run them down. When you have a small army, you want your opponent to think you have a big army, so it puts some fear in them, and then they are not too much in a hurry to attack you. Everything needs strategy. And I think that's one thing Africans take it too much into consideration. And you lose it out most of the time. I'm being very honest. What I say a nanti crew. So one can't sense it's no way me crew now. Encore. Sometimes we don't have to be like, okay, Africa, everything was perfect before the white man came. No, that's far from the truth. We had our own issues. And we continue to have our own issues, some of which is that we do not strategize. These people came with missionaries and soldiers at the same time. Strategy. If this doesn't work, we'll employ that, we'll deploy that. How do they have the confidence to get up and just go to somebody's country with the intention of going to take it from a small-ass country like England? Strategy. And we don't deploy that. right? Some of the times we work on emotions, some of the time we work on whatever else, and then we just become certain targets. Strategy is very vital, I think. And I think that the AES is very much, I think that AES a good example of African strategy. And it didn't start with them like we established the other time. Kwame Nkrumah and others have already set out a blueprint, which maybe they weren't able to achieve to a certain degree. Now we have a young generation which is like, let's do it. Right? So we have 3 countries who are running the same programs. So if the whole Africa was running the same program, can you imagine that? International food strategy, they're very important. Okay, everything is fine. No, sir. No. Asamani. No, yeah, Ghanaian, not called free from Profi. Akwemu in Ghana, in the Gold Coast back then. Asamani. He used to go into the castle and trade with those people. To be honest with you, I don't know if Asamani sold slaves. That's a good question. I have to research that. But from what I know, he used to trade with them, right? So he used to sell things that they needed to them. He used to also buy their wares and go sell to the people, cloth, whatnot, all that. Asamani found a way to sneak guns and gunpowder into the castle without the white people knowing. Now, one day when he came in there with traders, trading, not to say they were also just dressed as traders, and they overwhelmed the Christianborg Castle and took it. Strategy. I hear you talking about. I think you've muted yourself.
Oh.
Okay. All right. No, hold on. Let me unmute you from here.
No, cool. I think I did it.
Yeah, go through.
Strategy is tied to vision, right? M said, Sahel movement now. Almost aiming at.
Yeah.
They had an idea they were shooting for. Sometimes you be image, be vision, which is vague in our minds, right? Strategy, it has so much value when we have a vision. But because strategy. And then he'll come up with a strategy, but the vision is foggy.
Yes, I agree with you. It's also a vision.
Clarify vision now. If let's say a clarified vision only your problem, that's what I say. Strategy is automatic. But you need to have that thing for a strategy.
I don't agree that strategy is automatic though. I think strategy is something that you carefully craft.
What I meant was automatic in terms of the need will be there.
Okay.
The need for it, right? To take it seriously. Your life depends on it now, right? So definitely you put all that into it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Phyllis said, strategy as a word in itself, as a concept in itself, has to be tied to a vision.
Absolutely. There's no question about that at all.
Now the question is, when you think of vision, what's your Sahel movement, from movement, because it's catching on one way or another, right?
Yep.
They have a vision. When you look at the rest of ECOWAS, let's get really self-critical. We could talk about Ghana. We could talk about what's your vision. How you see them? Do we have a coherent vision? We have a vision where you say be inspiring. Do you think a sense of vision is solid enough? Yes. Or Africa. Let's just talk about different parts of the situation.
But this is
then talk about the Sahel thing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. But here it is though. Say ECOWAS will be BIA. I mean, ECOWAS has been here forever. At least signs.
But what is the Usha? Do they have some objective for?
I'm trying to come to that. I'm trying to tie it to vision. Because we're still talking about the word, the concept that you just raised.
Yes.
Yeah.
Strategy and vision. Yeah.
Strategy and vision.
Yeah.
So now, if the ECOWAS they are funded by France. If the ECOWAS is only interested in achieving goals set by the European Union and the UN, do you think they can achieve anything that will benefit Africans in general? I don't think so. This is why the AES is special, because the AES is coming from the perspective of the people. What would I make channel? AES no, omo vision ni no. I haven't seen any document that says that this is our vision, but I can tell from what they are doing.
Oh, they do have.
I can tell from their statements.
Yes.
The total picture no is to make sure that the people are more comfortable. The people benefit from the land that the Almighty God has blessed them with. That nobody else is coming in to take what belongs to the people and give them a pittance and shit on them and go away. No, nobody's doing that. And I feel say if we have any leader who is aligned to such a vision, he has my support 100%.
Yeah.
Regardless whether he's a cool leader, whether he's a king, whether he's a whatever type of leader. Because the way we choose ourselves, how come say Ghana, yetimiti say yebego chiefs, but yentia say benya president, or yebenya leader, yen choosing it from. What does that
do
mean?
the balance near there now?
It doesn't make any sense.
But Charlie, that's another conversation to have, because some people have a problem with
Yes.
what's the hell, no, because they didn't vote them to power. Some people will say that, oh, yeah, it's a democracy.
Former information minister Kojo Oponkruma, and shame on that guy, because I know he knows better. He's a sterling journalist. He understands the issues, and I know because he used to be on Joy FM back in the day. I used to wake up early in the morning to listen to this guy, so I know he understands the issues. So for somebody like that to come and say, oh no, but their course was Cote d'Ivoire, no crown, Cote d'Ivoire, their course was Burkina Faso, anyway, no crown, yes, no crown, no, it's just propaganda. But are you crazy?
Serious? You see? Oh man, Charlie, make you elaborate on that small.
Yeah, no, he's trying to let the people feel, say, no, it's propaganda. Don't think. Generally, he was making the point, say, okay, cool, the task, and yadi papa. We can say that, but in this case, coup d'etat at the pa. You know why? Because first of all, Traore didn't kill nobody. It was a bloodless coup for that matter. Right? All they did was shake up the system and change the structures that control the reins of power and by extension, how the countries run. And by doing so, there was this video I was trying to get for you. But I don't know, maybe I'll send it to you. Traore is playing football with other people, right? He has like his guys, they're playing football. You pass him on or not, so pass you beat me channel. No, I tough him just like anybody else, you know. Now, why do I bring this in? Let's look at this. The body language, Krampo, Traore, Edebano, very important. That guy is really smart. And I think he's getting some very good advices also. The way he plays his politics, the way he presents himself, the way he does things, no. And this is not to praise him too much as a person, no. I'm just praising him as somebody who is doing something that I like, that I think should be what should be done. Now, what do our leaders play? They play tennis. They play golf. Golf, Kitnen Kwa AOB capital. What I say? But that's what you find out people doing. They play exotic sports where you find Traore, he's playing football. One big ball, which costs maybe $10, maybe, right? And then he's playing with other people. Close contact. Not too many people do that. You know who else does that? Vladimir Putin does that. He plays hockey with the people. He endears himself to the people that way. Right? He has a way of telling the people that I am like you. Jerry Rawlings pulled up a stunt. Let me tell you about it. Back then, when there was shortage of everything, right? He had come and declared a revolution. The West was punishing him. There were no essential commodities. Bullshit term. But there was no essential commodities, including cigarettes.
That's essential.
That's why I said, yeah, exactly. Right?
Yeah.
But there was no cigarettes for people to smoke. And they were really getting agitated. Rawlings went to Tema Harbor, went to go speak with the dry dock workers and everything. He had a half-smoked cigarette lodged behind his ear. From what I hear, he wasn't even really smoking at that time. If he was smoking, it was that cigarette. But the stunt, he put a half-smoked cigarette behind his ear, the way the dry dockers do. Because there were not enough cigarettes, so people would buy cigarettes, smoke half of it, and keep half for later. And they would normally keep it behind their ears for easy access or whatever, I don't know. Rollins went, they had a half-smoked cigarette behind his ear, spoke to these people in the middle of his speech, pulled the half-smoked cigarette, lit it, and you can imagine the effect it had on people. So people, listen, me to the smoke half cigarette, for whatever that's worth. But I'm saying the body language of leaders should be considered when dealing with the people. So you have Traore who is saying that I'm not going to ride in an expensive jet. I'm going to ride in a military plane, which the country already possesses, to save money. I'm going to ride in a 3-convoy car. There are going to be other people in my car so that we don't need an extra car. I'm going to set up tomato factories because our people are growing tomatoes, but they are not processing it and making enough money. I'm going to encourage the young guy who's trying to make the electric vehicle so that they can put an African electric vehicle on the road. These are the things he's doing. Versus we once upon a time, not too long ago, had a president who said, we have an airplane, but it's not fit enough for me. So I'll give it to the president of Liberia to use because they don't have one. And I will go use the people's money to rent another airplane to use. And when I'm not using it, it's going to sit on the tarmac for hours on end, and we are paying by the hour. 7, this is what I'm talking about. We have a new generation of leaders. And it's not just Traore. It was also Magafuli before he passed on. It was also other African leaders, maybe not too many, but still we can find a couple who are out for their people. And I don't want to start about Ghana, but personally, I think like John Mahama has a good opportunity to make a great name for himself by looking out for the people. By looking out for the people. Do the things that benefit the people. And while we are at it, let's kick right back to the beginning of the conversation. John Mahama, you are in a good position to renegotiate the mining terms. Do it. Do it. You know why? Because you have an overwhelming representation in Parliament. If you want to do this, Parliament can easily throw out those laws and make new laws, just like Magafuli did. And those new laws should include the fact that the government has to have shares in every mining company that comes to Ghana. At least 10%. Yeah, for Skabia and Shemu, would your capital about mining, but you have 10% shares, in addition to the 20% royalties that you are giving us. And then the state should have its own mining setup if they want to. I don't know about that because I don't even support mining too much like that. All I'm saying is this, if there's money to be made there, the bulk of the money should go to the people, not to the greedy mining companies that come and then they have all these greedy politicians who will sign stupid contracts like Ghana should have 3%. What nonsense.
Radio culture. Y'all kind of interesting. I mean, just said, talking about strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because it me time today, I'll come about say, yeah, share mine in the year, maybe I'll start here. Yes, starting common. Say, yeah, dream we year, so let's say back to strategy, right? What kind of maybe that can be done, but at the same time, see a dream who said, what kind of regulations can be in place, right? Because we can say, yeah, we're doing all that, and then the pollution continues, but we're getting a cut, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're supposed to be happy. It will bring us back to where you started. That you have serious questions about mining.
Mm-hmm.
We need to stay on that thing a little more. I'm not just saying this conversation, but as a people, yeah, source of wealth, and this is what we want to do. That's what we want to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not me person me busao. I don't want to be jumping around. But stay on something if you have more to say on the Sahel thing. But not
I think we can always go and come back.
Okay, good. Congo,
mm-hmm.
right? Yeah. What do you have on Congo? Who said So me supposed what you know maybe about how Rwanda near there.
Mate,
Rwanda is the
yes,
cause. What do you
Mate
have
about
on
that.
it? What do you have on that?
It is a subject I haven't studied. I don't want to say I haven't studied, but I'm still kind of like trying to make up my mind what to believe and what not to believe.
I know what you mean. But what? How do you read the Congo scene? What do you have?
I'm very disappointed to hear the name of Rwanda in the whole mix. That's my thing, because
Okay.
personally, Kagame is one legendary figure that I was also closely looking at. Looking at how he's been able to turn Rwanda around after that brutal war and all this brutal civil war and all of that. It was in a lifetime. It wasn't too long ago. Nancy in Hollywood, that movie, Blood Diamonds, whatever, right? And say Biasa, but
Hotel Rwanda or something.
Hotel Rwanda, there were a couple of movies that were made about that. But within this short space of time, relatively short space of time, this guy has been able to turn Rwanda around remarkably, and I was really following him about that. But then here comes the news that he is Rwanda is, and by extension, he is, because he calls the shots, right? So, but yeah, that Rwanda is very heavily invested in all the nonsense that's going on there, and on the wrong side. Like Rwanda is basically like a lucky of the West in that region. That they're using to keep the trouble there ongoing, and I'm very disappointed about that. But let's look at Congo too again. Congo is a very complex country. This is why we need the Organization of African Unity. And you notice that I said Organization of African Unity.
You
I
didn't go to the
didn't say
AU
African Union.
So
No.
you know you also word no said in the
Hey, you there? It is a ECOWAS Pro Max. So maybe it's just ECOWAS Pro Max.
Yeah, but now earlier now KBB and my dream said thinking on the continental level. So if us here we have the Sahel thing happening, right? We have Ghana right underneath Burkina. We have Nigeria over there, right? But it looks like one thing is happening here. I mean, I know this thing about, brighten your corner, take care of your country and all that, right? But what should I do now? I say, I mean, the pastor Congo, I'm not Africa. I'm fully say we should have the same kind of stance when we're looking at the Burkina thing. We have the same kind of stance when we look at Ethiopia or look at South Africa. And just as embassy, and some of you can say, oh, this is an African problem. Right? Even Haiti, right? I go say Kenya, see, it should be like an African thing. Yes, like so. Back to please say some more about the Congo thing, and let's see how we go take what you just say to look at other things. Because to me, technically, it's a problem. That's what it is. Just like how we have a problem in any other part of the Black world or on the continent, at least, But it could be about the Congo thing.
So Congo,
as
a country, is so rich. Say, if Africa had its act together, and a country like Congo can single-handedly supply the whole entire continent with energy in terms of like hydroelectricity and all of that, right? Of course, that would be something that would be like far-fetched, but that's what I'm saying. Congo is so remarkably rich. The size, the resources, and all of that. Now, there is something that people look at, say, when people have this thing they call a resource curse, right? So when you are blessed with something and you don't handle it properly, it becomes a curse. We can mention Nigeria with the oil and all of that, with you're kind of saying a movement of Delta State for all the Kensaro Wiwa, all of these things that have happened because of oil. Nigeria remains a country that Nigeria is not poor. You can't even say Nigeria is poor, to be honest with you. Nigeria is not poor at all, but the people are poor.
Can you say the same thing about Ghana?
Exactly. That was going to be my next phrase,
yes.
my next statement. Ghana is not poor, but the people are poor. Now, there's this video that I just saw. Some guy celebrated his birthday. The amount of resources that went into throwing a party. So if somebody can be in Ghana and be that fabulously rich, Yeah, who be? There's somebody in Ghana who owns a private jet. This person has lived in Ghana this whole time. Ghana is not poor. Ghana has lithium, for crying out loud. Now, you can't seem be so connected with Sadia way. Asama Mami Sofa Yakufu kind.
No, can't lithium myself, no.
Yes. Because she say you see a movie away from and watch and so there's this book that this guy wrote called Why Are We So Blessed? I think it's a place called Why Are We So Blessed? Right? Everything. I'm not for sure more revolution, you can't say industrial way no more, you know. Petrol or diesel or whatever, any big movie. Right? Tredian pong, any assassia, any nanano here, Monje oil. Now the people say, no, we say oil no cry no. We don't even want cars with that combustion in new crabium. They say you're moving into a new phase of way into you're moving to electric cars. The cocoa tutu asasya, Ochediampon, asasya, nananom, so monje lithium. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But yet we don't have people who are smart enough to. I would say that either. We do have people who are way smart enough to get good contracts for us. But the people who are in charge are not doing the right thing for the people.
Okay, we keep going there, right? The people who are in charge are coming from among the people.
Yes.
If they're so oriented, but I say your orientation is such that they are right? It's not because they are very important. You know, instead of just looking at like, oh, it's a journalist who's just giving us knowledge or no, to be consumption power, you're in research power. We should take it like we are orienting ourselves a certain way because no matter what go happen, if you want the people know where they go do.
Basically.
So we go fit change governments. These guys where they did it, Burkina places, they be people where they look at the world a certain way, understand the world a certain way, where they make the moves. Right? Hey, no matter who you are, you know, he said, well, let me tell to 1 hour. Come here, the person may hold you to some things, you know. Now, I like when you take something and you take it in all sorts of directions. So Congo and some now, yeah, they could do that. We have a key problem. Our resources, are they really ours when it comes to turning into money?
Sure. South Africa
yeah,
gained independence, almost more gaining independence, but yet the two key ministries, they did not allow them to control them.
Scanner Edomusem, Abrofono no control this scan.
Who says assassin ya would fast? What is so that?
Na see a discount, won't you mean the assassin?
Media. So you are still a tenant on your own land.
And a bit back at the same thing about Ghana. Nigeria.
To a very large extent. Yes. Yeah. You have 3% of the gold resources and you don't have Oti River anymore. Why not? Yes, we can say that.
So South Africa, let's talk about South Africa. We're looking at Johannesburg.
South Africa, I mean, quick we say about David Hundein, right? Young, fabulous journalist from Nigeria. Very smart guy.
Mention the brother, yeah.
Yes. And he's the you're kind of saying founder of West Africa Weekly, you know.
Okay.
It's a journal, online journal. Fabulous guy. So I was talking to this guy, and then he raised some point. We say, Nigeria is a country of how many? Almost 200 million people. How is it possible for 200 million people to be all so stupid? Let's ask ourselves. From Ghana, you're scaling it down, Kakra.
What stupid in what sense?
I'm coming there. Ghana, 30 million people. How can all 30 million of the people in Ghana be stupid? It's not possible. This is what he means. There is a system that runs how things go.
Thank you.
So if you look at it now, because our leaders, they are bogus. And he told me straight away, he said, listen, until recently I used to say the same things. The leaders and the leaders and the leaders.
Yeah, some of
but
us
it's
have
the
raised
system.
Yes. And then what kind of ideas would they take approach the system? If you see them voting new people into power, another political party, right? We have to think of, idea. If we have to come up with ideas where they not be what we've been using, where they know the work, but be like we want to use the same things and expect them to work. South Africa now, Why do that idea of xenophobia and chasing immigrants? It's because of the struggle. If it's with your mind is $2,000, but life there is not pretty. Armed robbery rates, crime rates, it's mind-boggling. Like world records, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's not nice at all. So the fact that someone's getting a better paycheck because you're doing something in some area doesn't mean that the people are benefiting. Long story short, the economies are not in our hands. Not many brother Bill Free Mali, Ebon Kobana make us your dream. Just last week, son say Sahel Adiano or Dream was saying, yeah, it's pretty good. But he in disappointment be saying enough a break away from the CFA. Therefore hold on to it. I'm not be saying those brothers where they did they don't want to break away.
Hold on. Or see they were not able to. They're introducing their own currency. What is he talking about?
No, he's saying that he thinks it's still tied to that.
No. Well, I mean, every currency has to be tied to another currency. That's
but the autonomy. Okay, so this is side of his argument, right? Just let's see what he's saying.
Okay.
So he's saying that it looks like they are willing to break clean because it's like they're beholden to that. He was actually praising Ghana, right? So Ghana, you got your own money, and so I'm happy you're coming up with that. I said, Ghana, you got your own money. Nigeria got your own money. I was listening to him, right? And he says he's in touch with the people in Mali. He talks to his mom every week. And he's talking in terms of he doesn't think that they have that monetary autonomy, to put it that way.
I don't know about that, to be honest with you.
So tell us what you have. Tell us what you have, then.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I have anything, but I'm just trying to apply some common sense on this, right? Number one, it will be very hard for me to imagine that Traore and the others will go through all that they are going through only to still tie their currency to France. I don't believe I do not believe they will do that.
The way I understood that was along the lines of what you were saying. Say you cannot just get up and do certain things.
Yes, basically.
I don't know the details. I'm just asking.
Because Nana, these are three countries that potentially, if it not be for the say, if not be say for the effort, you can say the support that the rest of Africa gave her, the AES would not be here. Let's face it. At the time France wanted to invade those countries, Tinubu and Akufo-Addo, if that had happened, the AES would not be here.
Thank you.
At the very best, and they would be engaged in some type of war or something.
Yeah.
Africans stood up and hailed the AES. So
that has to be emphasized. Has to be emphasized to balance the guy. Nippon House say great journalist, but all Kasi and Fano.
Yeah,
we have to talk about the fact that the people appreciate what's happening in the South.
And nothing all fighting into a person or check the people and say propaganda and
people are intelligent.
People are not stupid. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. School now will call Obi so Kobe. Yes, it's a baby baby so twaso.
Thank you.
That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point. What if I say school now? What kind of person be catches? What school now? People went to those same schools as you also. So you can't come and assume that everybody's stupid.
And sometimes we get a wisdom from the people who never go to school at all.
More or less.
Thank you, my brother.
I have a very good example of that. When I was at School of Performing Arts, one of my lecturers did not even know how to string one sentence together. He was a drum instructor, but he was a lecturer.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
What did I say?
Precious.
He was a lecturer. How is he closed and open palm and all of those things? No, who failing the class? I was failing. You have to take it.
But don't come, bro, for no.
They be Brofoni crying necessary in the Juana or yeah.
Thank you, Charlie. Okay, baby. But sometimes we know they value that because on come, bro, for on to me, come, bro, for Charlie. No more no kuta there no.
Don't what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Again, to keep back again to the AES, no, with and the money issue, no. Before say,
yes,
if they were to just get up and say, okay, Sika, we are cutting off entirely from no site will not work.
That is the point.
Like paper.
That is the point I was thinking. You know,
it be like so paper because a strategy, Rasta.
I know now, but for him, the
strategy tied to vision.
Absolutely,
that's what I see here.
So the vision can pull them through, right?
They
The
have the
vision can make them
long-term goal.
hungry. It can make them so hungry that they go work something out. You'll see, they come out of some other on the outside, at the other end, looking good.
Yes.
But so another concern for him was, what did he say? Okay, this is another one. I just like you to comment on it. They throw things at you so that because I know some things on people their mind. I'll say, you broke away from France and the West, and then you go give everything to Russia. What do you react to? How do you respond to that?
We are a community of nations. We are not an isolated continent or an isolated country or anything like that. Mm-hmm. We are a community of nations. We belong to an extended community of nations. We trade with each other. We do just like our ancestors used to do. That's why they used to leave Mali and travel to Egypt and travel to wherever else they went to.
To Asia. We're going to Asia and
everywhere.
Yeah.
We are part of a community. It's not going to work. That's why Kwame Nkrumah came up with the non-aligned movement. And we know, we need certain things from you, just the way you two need certain things from us. Abi, that's not strange.
No, that's how the world works.
It's normal.
That's how the world works.
If we need arms, Enka Akufo-Addo, any Tinubu, Omoyomuti Kotokoto, every time I mention their name, I think I should add that. Because they don't represent the interest of the people. But those times that they were considering invading those three countries, though, where were they going to get arms from to defend themselves? France was not going to give it. The United States was not going to give it. Who was going to give it? Russia. So why not?
Okasem.
Hello, somebody wake me up.
Okasem. Do you
know that the turmoil that's going on in that area? Do you know the role Russia is playing? Long fork from there. I don't want to say I'm signing on to that because, again, I'm very careful about the involvement of any other country in our affairs. But truth of the matter is that when you have another interest operating in that area, and you can engage a different force from another area to come and take care of that, why not?
That's how it's always been. You go hear some things about, I don't want to spoil the conversation, but people go say, I can't believe Hitler's Germany had a connection with Ethiopia, right? Hitler got a problem with Mussolini, get with Italy. Mm-hmm. So he started to bank Ethiopia.
Friend of my friend.
Yeah.
Enemy of my friend, Abi.
Yeah, no, just
strategy.
Experience. Yeah.
Strategy.
My vision and police strategy, but it has to be emphasized. We have to emphasize that because I'm saying our visions most of the time we go do the cut and paste thing when it comes to vision. Mm-hmm. You always say, where Arizona, baby. It's yes, you're a baby.
Yeah.
Instead of saying you better say, actually, what do we really, 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 really want based on our situation? Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. So, Charlie, we for do this again, because we just scratched the surface where time catch, right?
Yes, we still have like some 8 minutes or so to round it up.
Okay, so maybe you could go back to Nauka Congo. And I can say, you're trying to say an African problem, right? Mm-hmm. Resources no go. But with this economic arrangement, we should Ghana, we should Nigeria, we should South Africa. I was going to say, South Africa got the gold, Nigeria got the oil, Ghana get this and that. Yeah, even the ganja itself could be currency.
Yeah.
Right. The economics of it. Maybe if we go enter this legal economy on this under this arrangement, we're gonna end up saying, we thought it was going to work. Now look what's happening. Because still we're dealing with that same arrangement.
Unim, you should trade in Suswa. You're showing from the wrong perspective.
Can it be about that?
Mm-hmm. Because say, okay, I'll call world market now, you ton gold, you ton cocoa, you ton timber, you ton bauxite, you ton den. But Africa, maybe a yanka say you see other people don't use it, so there will be no market for it. Let me give you an example.
No, I like what you're doing. So another kind of economy, take it seriously what we're doing in here.
Say people, they take things like dawa. Mm-hmm. Things like, what he said? Bese, cola. Mm-hmm. Do you ever see cola being sold on that type of? No. But you know how many people transport cola from, say, Ghana to Nigeria?
Intracontinental. Nana, Sanya bet my drink ganja ne home. Sanya bet my drink and but so Bibia say, you go Europe. echo per pounds, any euros. Yeah, they call America. And that also messes things up for us when we're thinking of economics. I say, if you don't have that kind of currency, you're not playing a game.
Exactly.
It's only telling you for elaborate on that thing you say right now some more when we talk about economics, because we don't see much value in that.
We
Quite
don't.
yet. Quite yet.
It's sad because if we did that, and Keben will say, okay, maybe if we want tomatoes, instead of importing Roma tomatoes from Italy, right next door in Burkina Faso, they are growing tomatoes.
And we'll be happy with that too. Our brothers are getting something, our brothers and sisters are getting something, we're getting something.
Basically.
Uh-huh.
And they're canning it now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So now, apart from the raw tomatoes now, we can also, instead of importing Roma tomatoes from Italy, we are going to buy from Burkina Faso.
Yes, and it's strengthening our relations with them right there.
It's a win-win-win, whichever way.
Yeah. I think we stay on that one, Pa. Like, what does it mean to say, look, we're thinking of economics in such a way that we're working with each other? Obviously, guys, what do they have? You hear that? People that have
very good point,
Yeah,
very good point, because a lot of time you hear people say, oh, nah, because a country like Congo, with all their resources, they wouldn't like to come on board with a country that I don't want to say, but maybe they might think that they don't have any resources or anything. Like, no, side doesn't even work like that. Every country have some type of resource.
And if they don't have it because of the borders, somebody can draw.
Basically.
So if we have this understanding, because you say my family did there, how many borders we know they cut through one family? We know they cut through one people.
There you go. There you go. Now, but because if you look at, say, Ghana, Togo, there are people who live in Ghana and go to farm in Togo.
Oh, we've got front door. Front door, no. Ghana, no, pay back door.
Radio culture.
Front door, Ghana, no, pay back door with Togo.
Yeah. A real thing. Sometimes man go stuck in Togo for a little moment. What catch and say, yeah, if you be what I say, take me for OP, pay back door. Oh man.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Yes, the borders CDF on the serious.
And Osha say, okay, young funny say in Ghana crown as an example, right? Osha Ghana, gold knew what certain parts be, oil knew what certain parts be, certain parts are agriculturally rich, certain parts was certain other resources be any other parts near there. And then we supply each other and work together. That's the same way Africa can function.
We for the work. But Brother Kwakwa said, we've got a gold. As if you alone go for eat gold. Everyone cut here, baby. You need a cut here.
Even here in the US, do you think that all the states have the same resources?
That's how they work. That's how they work. Like so you for elaborate on this thing. You see, this kind of Ghanaian pride thing. That's micro-nation, my boyfriend, micro nationalistic pride. And your problem, pa. We are so special. No, we are so special. Oh no, we got gold, we got this. What do they have? Oh, more BB. If they don't have what we think we need, we more nipa.
Nana, if you Ghana, clear your cars for Togo.
Thank you.
Say Togo for Nishi. I don't know if you Ghana. I will your gold one. Togo koko clear o car.
Okasem. Ebusia. Ebusia for.
We speak the same language.
Yeah.
Flower now crossing over. They are speaking the same language.
Chale, as if say go anywhere.
Oko Cote d'Ivoire. Obakwa remnants of the Ashanti presence there. As a command back draw borders now, I'm sure there would have been some seamless way.
Oh, yes.
All these groups that we call tribes or whatever we want to call them, they still saw the need to kind of learn to behave and merge together like each other. Because over something like, say, Okwa Himfia, the way of Musiya Monoma, even the Ga people who reportedly came from Israel through Nigeria and all of that, came with different traditions and all that, They don't have kings, they have like a theocratic system and all of that, Even they said, eventually, they started adapting some of the practices now. Oh,
yes.
Right?
Yes, and that's an important point you to make.
Because there are people who have always merged together. That's
Priority.
how we are. Nigeria for the next 10 years. And how to be raising a family.
Charlie, okay, baby. Okay,
From
baby.
there, then I say for so to quite call next country.
Baby from. It's yeah,
So
you want
even that
Ghana.
thing about Nigerians, Ghanaians, whatever, no. To me, it's
We don't have to
only
put too much into it.
it's
It's
very
what we have become.
superficial. Totally.
Yeah,
Totally.
you must be free Central African yeah, but you must because you're from Ghana for no. You must free Niger direction yeah, but Burkina direction yeah, but you know, see yeah, we Ghanaians where this we got. This is just 1957 talking the talk.
Even before 1957, sir.
No, I say how not Ghana on the better picture anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, modern Ghana.
Yeah. But you
You
know,
know what I mean?
if you get somebody rolling along those lines, I mean, I'm saying, sir, it's on paper, it's a fact, sir. There are people who moved from the people of Bremai Esikuma. They trace their ancestry to Bremai in Ashanti, right? Even the people in Yakrom, certain other places around there, no, they trace their seven. It's like I think Seven is frozen. I hope he can come back for us to wrap up the show. But as we wrap up the show, I'm just saying, sir, there are people who trace their ancestry to certain other tribes. We know, sir, Bremai Sukuma, for instance, traces its ancestry to Ashanti, right, and stuff like that. And you know, say Ufi Bremai Sukuma, or Fantini and that's all Santini. I don't know. I'm just saying, right? I was hoping to say Kebenya 7, Nenina Rapia, but it looks like we may not. If he comes back, fair enough. I'll just give it like a quick minute because it's his show. I am the guest. He is the he is the host. So I hope he's back in a quick minute to wrap up the show. Otherwise, I can do it for him because I think that we've hit the hour mark, and I am personally hungry. I think it's lunchtime. My name is Kwesi Esonbak. You can call me Ja, beloved. This has been the FyahSide Reasoning Session. Catch this every other Sunday on the same platform. Here, no, it's serious reasoning. And what we want to do is engage other people. So we'll be sharing the code. We'll be sharing the QR code on our social media platforms. If you want to join the reasoning, please just come on, let your voice be heard. That's what we want to do with this show. Serious minds only. And no matter you can wahano. Any idea a lot of people even think about. All right. But that's where we're going. Once again, my name is Ja Beloved. I'm out. Give thanks every time.